Alright guys, what's up? Today is Animal Kingdom Day. We already have our Lightning Lane booked and Genie Plus purchased. Our first rides are going to be in Pandora. We're going to be going there first for our reservations and then working our way around from there. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. We're waiting for the bus to take us to Animal Kingdom. Again.
Oh yeah, don't forget you can get flagged.
Yep.
Welcome home, honey. Welcome to your kingdom.
He thinks he's so funny.
Where are we going? Where we going? Where we going? Where we going? Where we going?
We're getting on It's Tough to See a Bug. Not getting one, but watching the show. Alright, so we just got off Dinosaur and that was definitely wild, you guys. My glasses almost flew off. Should have wore a glasses strap, but hey. And now we are headed back on Expedition Everest, which I think is now my favorite ride, seriously.
Seeing the films, a portion of the first week's ticket sales for each Disney feature release is directed through the Disney Conservation Fund to support specific conservation initiatives with non-profit.
It is a giraffe there, the only living relative of the giraffe. We know that because their skeletal structure is very similar to that of a giraffe, especially in the skull. Both the okapi and the giraffe also have a very long prehensile tongue. The word prehensile means it can grab things. Their tongue is about 18 inches long. Now off to the left we're going to see the black rhino, smaller of the two rhino species on the reserve, weighing upwards of 3,000 pounds. Black rhinos are mostly solitary animals. They can get pretty territorial with each other. Now how do we tell apart black rhinos from the other species found on the reserve, the white rhino? Actually just by looking at their lips. Black rhinos have very pointed prehensile upper lip to grab the vegetation they eat, while white rhinos have very wide lips used for grazing on grass. At 80 degrees, there's a few over here next to that waterfall. They can get territorial and aggressive, even towards humans, but the rules are simple. Just stay away from their water and their babies. They're going to stay away from you. Now, friends, make sure your children are fully seated. Please sit down. Do not, hey, Rafiki, can you not hold your child up? Thanks. I know it's a little confusing. A lot of these animals are in the Lion King. But you're not Rafiki, your child's not Simba, so don't do it. But off to the left, we're going to see the Nile crocodile with a jaw pressure of 3,000 pounds per square inch. Now, I can tell that's a Maasai giraffe out there because of that rigid structure in their coat. That pattern is unique to each animal. It's kind of like your thumbprint. Now, giraffes spend about 20 hours a day eating, using those long prehensile tongues to grab leaves and pull it down towards their mouth. Now, to prevent their tongue from getting sunburned because it's out pretty much all day, their tongue is a purple or black coloration coated in saliva. Now, if the giraffe eats for 20 hours a day, they only sleep about 30 minutes a day. That's usually not all at once. It's usually in 30-second to 5-minute increments. The truck, these are African painted dogs, also known as the African wild dog. They are not hyenas. They are not even related to the hyena. Point out is going to be those sable antelope over your left shoulder. One of the few antelope species that'll stand their ground whenever there are predators nearby. Using those horns in self-defense, they're led by a dominant female. We're also passing by, so there's a male eland right there. I'm going to talk about the eland in a little bit. First, we're going to talk about these wildebeest. This is the blue, also known as brindle's wildebeest. It's a pretty small herd of wildebeest, and I say small herd because they've been known to gather in herds of thousands or tens of thousands, sometimes coming together to form a super herd of over 1.5 million. Zebra, one of the 3 different zebra species in the world. They're the most agile and the best climbers of all the zebra. How I'm able to tell them apart, he has a little dewlap on his neck which helps regulate his body temperature. They're the only zebra species that has it. A group of zebras called a dazzle of zebra, and just like the giraffe, that pattern in their coat is unique to each animal. Now, one of the uses for that pattern in their coat is actually to help prevent flies from landing on them. Researchers have found that whenever flies see a zebra pattern, it freaks them out and forces them to try to land somewhere else. Now, another name for a group of giraffes called a tower of giraffe. Now, really quick, before I talk more about the giraffe, look at those palm trees. You'll see some animals with massive horns laying down next to those giraffe over there. Those are Ankole cattle, also called the Watusi cattle, because of the tribe that domesticated them. They were used as a sign of wealth, so the more you had, the wealthier you were. Those horns are not very heavy at all, only weighing about 3 to 4 pounds each, getting to about 3 to 5 feet in length. Now, on the inside, it's a honeycomb-like structure, and through that structure run blood vessels, which regulate their body temperature.
Get that treat. Get that food.
You see them using that prehensile tongue. So giraffes actually have quite the rude awakening to the world. When a giraffe is born, they drop 6 feet straight to the ground. That 6-foot drop actually helps jumpstart their breathing. But a lot of animals out here on the African savanna have to be able to learn to stand and run very early in life to escape predators. Close, the bees chase them away. Not only does that protect the farmers' crops from the elephants, protects the elephants from the farmers, farmers can also make a profit off the honey found in the beehives, and it helps out bee populations. Are solitary animals, sometimes forming bachelor groups.
Oh, God.
Oh,
nice.
No, an animal doing a natural thing. Gross. Poached is for those tusks. 5 feet tall. Also the most light pink of all flamingos, but when they are born, they are not born that pink color. They're born a grayer coloration. It takes about a year or 2 after they're born for them to fully turn pink. So how do they do it? It's actually from the beta-carotene found in their diet, which is mostly brine, shrimp, and algae. Also, the name for a flock of flamingos is called the flamboyance of flamingos. Now, coming up, you might see one at the top of the hill up there. These are Nigerian dwarf goats, which only stand about 2 feet tall, fully grown. Now, they're very playful animals. Through that playfulness, they establish dominance in the group. So they eat just about anything.
So bad couldn't get the anchor to hook up.
Alright guys, we just ate at Harambe Market and now we're going to be going in a couple minutes with our Lightning Lane Pass for Festival of the Lion King. Alright you guys, so I am literally back in the hotel. I have no idea what happened, but I completely forgot to document the rest of the day. And oh my gosh, I was just so running around. It was hot, I was tired. Very poor excuse for a vlogger to make, but it's just been a long day and I am so sorry. But honestly, there wasn't much to do in Animal Kingdom ride-wise, so we pretty much were just repeating a lot of rides, and by that I'm mainly referring to Expedition Everest, which I think is by far my absolute favorite ride at Animal Kingdom. And I seriously think I got on it like 5 or 6 times within like a couple hours span, and the wait times were very, very short today. So I think that is also part of why I was hopping on like crazy. Also, I just would love to say how absolutely breathtaking Pandora was. I loved Flight of Passage, I loved the river journey, but I did have a bit of a scare tonight with Flight of Passage with the bike because, or not the bike, I'm getting Tron mixed up with that, and I didn't even get on Tron, the Banshee simulator thing, and I got on that, and the back restraint pushed me way too tight against the vehicle, and I found it hard to breathe. And by this time the cast member was already out of the room, and despite me calling for the cast member, she did not hear me, and the ride started. And I was quite literally pinned so badly to the point I was having some difficulty breathing. And this is close to a 5-minute ride, so, you know, I'm not a very claustrophobic person, but I can be. This situation made that skyrocket by 1,000. My anxiety skyrocketed by 1,000. Not a good experience at all. And honestly, I'm probably going to be very scared of that ride from now on. It was a beautiful ride. It's immersive. I loved the smells and how very immersive it was. There's not really another word I can use except immersive, but I loved it up until that point, and now I'm just so scared. It's like a PTSD, I think, of restraints. So now if I go to get on another ride and there's some kind of restraint, I'm not sure how I'm going to react now because of that, because I mean, when I say it pinned me. Like, I couldn't even move. And it was crazy. It all happened very fast because you know how they are. Like, they just, you know, everybody pack in, and you have no time to even get your bags together because they're pushing you to get off the ride. Like, it's extremely fast paced, and that was the situation I was in. So yeah, that's how that went. But I mean, otherwise, besides extremely sore feet, everything was amazing today. I had some really yummy food, as you guys have seen. Yeah, it just was basically a lot of repeat rides because there's not a lot of rides to do there. We were gonna get on Dinosaur again, but it ended up breaking down and it never reopened the rest of the day, so I was very sad about that. But tomorrow is Epcot, so let's see what kind of day I have tomorrow. That is my home park though, you guys. I love it, so I am very excited for that, and I will see you guys then.